What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost, and ever since The Last Jedi came out, what were people saying? People were saying that this totally undoes a bunch of stuff that happens in The Force Awakens. And then, of course, when Rise of Skywalker comes out a couple months ago, all of us are saying, wow, what a bunch of shots this movie just took at The Last Jedi. Can you believe that they just did that? But then you've had so many people coming out and trying to defend it, saying, no, it doesn't take any shots at The Last Jedi. What are you talking about? People like Grunberg, J.J. Abrams' best buddy, who's basically just trying to suck up to him so he can keep getting put in every movie or TV show that J.J. Abrams is a part of. You have to say, I never heard J.J. say a single disparaging thing about Ryan. He never would. He would never do something like that. Well, now, the people who actually put this movie together, the editors for The Rise of Skywalker, are saying something that kind of makes you think, that's interesting, isn't it? Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker editors think The Last Jedi undid the storytelling of The Force Awakens. Let's see what they have to say. It's been over 2 years since Rian Johnson's Star Wars The Last Jedi hit theaters, but the film remains a hot topic as people continue to discuss the film, especially as compared to the final installment of the latest trilogy, Rise of Skywalker. Oh, sorry, it's been so long. The Rise of Palpatine. My bad, Rise of Palpatine. While the Rise of Palpatine itself has proven to be a bit divisive among fans, that's selling a little short, strong opinions about The Last Jedi remain. Both of those are selling those a little short. That includes Marianne Brandon and Mary Jo Markey, editors on The Rise of Palpatine, who recently spoke about the film and said that they feel like The Last Jedi undid the storytelling of Star Wars The Force Awakens, the first film in the final trilogy. And obviously that is the film that J.J. Abrams started off this sequel trilogy with. And these people are working with J.J. Abrams, so I'm not surprised that they feel that way. J.J. Abrams had to have felt that way. Not that he necessarily had a plan going forward, but it certainly wasn't The Last Jedi. No one can imagine that would happen. In a recent appearance on Light the Fuse, a Mission Impossible podcast, Brandon and Markey were asked about their thoughts on The Last Jedi, and both appeared to see The Last Jedi as something of an outlier in the trilogy. You don't say. I felt very much like, in hindsight, that the trilogy, the last part of the trilogy, needed one vision, Brandon said. Now, Marianne Brandon is also the person, if you remember from a couple months ago, who told us, initially we had some more stuff about Palpatine in there, about how he came back, but we thought it was off topic, so we cut it out. Same Marianne Brandon talking right here. It's the last time I've spoken about her. But then Markey took things a bit further, saying she felt the film undid The Force Awakens. I couldn't agree more, Markey said. It's very strange to have the second film consciously undo the storytelling of the first film. I'm sorry, that's what it felt like. She's apologizing for those feelings, but come on, you don't have to. Everyone feels the same way. And I think it's going to be interesting the further and further we move away from the sequel trilogy as more people, aren't under contract anymore, probably won't be working with, Lucasfilm or anything like that ever again. It'll be interesting to hear what they say, get their real thoughts when they are not under that Disney thumb of what actually happened behind the scenes of this sequel trilogy, because we all know that it's an absolute mess at Lucasfilm right now. What The Last Jedi did or did not do in regard to Star Wars has been a topic of discussion since the film's debut. But once The Rise of Skywalker hit theaters, the conversation became a little more complicated. Some fans felt it was The Rise of Skywalker that intentionally undid elements of The Last Jedi, though not everyone agrees with that take either. Well, it's not an either or, I think it's a both. There's no doubt that there are things in The Rise of Skywalker that specifically undercut The Last Jedi. Why that happened? Is that because J.J. Abrams was upset about Rian Johnson? I don't know. Is that just because he wanted to make it very clear that this was continuing the Force Awakens storyline? Maybe that's the only way he thought that he could wrap this up in some semblance of a bow, which, let's be honest, that was a complete and utter failure, but I mean, at least it's an attempt from J.J. Abrams, I suppose. Greg Grunberg, of course, who played Snap Wexley in both Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker, told Hollywood Reporter that he was shocked that people thought J.J. Abrams retconned The Last Jedi in Rise of Skywalker. And of course, this is Greg Grunberg here. If you don't know who Snap Wexley is or who Greg Grunberg is, it's him. And the only reason anyone knows who he is because he's J.J. Abrams' best buddy and gets put in a bunch of his movies. That's the only reason he has a career. That's the only reason that he was in Star Wars. And even he will tell you exactly that. And of course, this is the interview where he says that he was so pissed off and angry about people complaining about fan service in the movie. He was pissed off at fans for being upset about the movie. Not a surprise from these people. But the one quote that they pull that's important and relevant to this is this one. "I was shocked. This is part of Star Wars, which is finding conflict. People are going to make things up. I never heard one disparaging thing from JJ about Ryan. Ryan's a brilliant storyteller and filmmaker. It's one of those things where if you pay attention to the film and engage with it, all it does is keep the story going." Have you even watched this movie? Seriously? Have you even watched the movie? I don't think so. I don't think it was J.J. Abrams' plan to have Snoke cut in half for no reason whatsoever and be forced to panic and bring Emperor Palpatine back. That was never in the plans. We know that was never in the plans. Rian Johnson, The Last Jedi, ruined those plans. But I'm glad you're asking me, because I would absolutely tell you if there were moments here and there weren't. There just absolutely weren't. Good job, Greg Grunberg. You have kept your job. You're still J.J. Abrams' lapdog. Good job. He added, if anyone's going to try to dig out of J.J., it'd be me. I wanted to work with Ryan so badly, and it just didn't happen. So I'd be looking for any reason to go, oh, well, yeah, but J.J. loves that guy. He loves how creative and how brilliant he is. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And this does come from comicbook.com. But I just thought it was interesting after all this time, all these people arguing, all these people online saying, no, The Last Jedi, just like Greg Grunberg, it just continues the story. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the editors for The Rise of Skywalker come out and blatantly say, yeah, this film did not fit in. This film undid everything that we were trying to do on Force Awakens. This film does not fit in this sequel trilogy. You're saying something that we've known this entire time. And because of The Last Jedi, that caused the disaster known as The Rise of Skywalker. Now, would Rise of Skywalker have been better if J.J. Abrams had done Episode 8 as well? I would say probably. No guarantees. I think J.J. Abrams is a hack. We saw that we saw plain as day. I hated Force Awakens. I hated so much of what it did, but I'm extremely biased because of what Star Wars and Lucasfilm had done at that point to my expanding universe, to my stories. And then J.J. Abrams comes in here with this just hollow mess of a movie that was not creative in any way, shape, or form, and I hated it. But now everyone sees that with The Rise of Skywalker, with the way everything's pasted together, all these storylines, all these payoffs with no build-up. And it's a joke. Even the editors now see that there's a disconnect between episodes 7, 8, and 9, and they're coming out and they're talking about it. Who will be next to come out and say exactly how they feel, if they're on Team Rise of Skywalker or Team Last Jedi? I'm looking forward to hear all these people from Lucasfilm spill the tea. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.